Welcome everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com.
In today's news, a spike in theft of valuables left in motor vehicles and predial larceny recorded in the BVI.
And the National Parks Trust of the Virgin Islands partners with Gibraltar Botanic Gardens to conduct a statistic research.
Emergency meeting to be held this evening for all stakeholders in the transportation for hire industry with the return of cruise ships the topic.
U.S. Virgin Islands Governor, the Honorable Albert Byran, walks back the September 9th implementation of mandatory COVID-19 tests for government employees.
And 36,000 plus arrivals into the BVI since December 2020 with over 77% tourists and 2-year tax exemption on all renewable energy products as government push a BVI Going Green initiative. We hear these stories when 284 News returns.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's a Tuesday, August 31st, 2020. A terrific Tuesday to each and every one of you. We have made it to the end of August. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes, coming to you live from the beautiful British Virgin Islands. We start with stories all coming from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, where the British Virgin Islands has recorded a spike in criminal offences related to theft of valuables out of motor vehicles and separate instances of predial larceny. But this is according to a Monday, August 30th media release from the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, where the force indicated that they continue to receive reports of significant sums of money being stolen from purses and wallets left on the seat of unsecured vehicles. But they stated, and I quote, "In 2 separate incidents, $700 was stolen from a wallet and $1,000 from a purse, but both the wallet and purse were left in the front passenger seat when the monies were stolen. But one perpetrator has been identified so far," end quote. But the law enforcers therefore urge residents to refrain from leaving valuables inside their parked vehicles and to secure their vehicles by locking them. But the RVIPF said, and I quote, "Valuables such as handbags, laptops, cellular phones, and jewelry left on top of seats or in the center console of vehicles provide the incentive needed for thieves to enter and steal." While police are discouraging persons from leaving valuables in their vehicles. However, if there is no alternative, persons should secure these items so they are not visible and locked vehicles every time, end quote. But the police also said there was an upsurge in reports related to theft of bananas and other products from farmers located on the eastern end of Tortola. Well, according to the release, at least 4 farmers reported their bananas and plantains stolen in the area of Longlock, Greenland, Josiah's Bay, and Thomas Landing within the last 2 weeks. But one farmer in Longlock reported that 5 hands of bananas were taken from his property in Longlock, while another farmer in East End discovered some 60 pounds of banana missing. But the police force is therefore asking farmers to pass on any information that can assist in identifying possible perpetrators. But they also are encouraging the public to be on the lookout for individuals loitering and acting suspiciously in or around farms and report such activities to the East End Police Station at 368-9704. Well, Ron, this is some very concerning news, considering that the BVI usually is considered a safe place where persons usually leave their homes unlocked, vehicles unlocked, keys in vehicle, and then return back to their vehicle, and usually stuff is there when they return.
Being a safe territory has nothing to do with persons who want to conduct crime. So I think in the interest of safety for all concerned, we do need to adhere to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force. Viewers, continuing on, the National Parks Trust of the British Virgin Islands is collaborating with Gibraltar Botanic Garden to learn more about the biology and conservation status of various species. A genus of cacti found within the Virgin Islands. Now, the research is being led by the Botanic Garden, Andrew that is Gignatic, and who will be in the territory, from August 22nd until the 4th of September 2021. Staff, of course, from the J.R. O'Neill Botanic Gardens will be participating in the fieldwork on Anegada, Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Jost Van Dyke, and of course the Sister Island Keys. This research is part of a larger regional study with the Caribbean, within the Caribbean, to better understand the evolution history of cacti species. Activities will of course include seed collections for seed banking locally, and of course the Gibraltar Botanic Gardens training will also be provided to the National Parks Trust staff on the cactus species. Now this study of course will assist the Parks Trust by building local capacity at the J.R. O'Neill Botanic Gardens so that the cacti species can be conserved locally. It also highlights the regional importance of the Virgin Islands cacti species, which can guide the National Parks Trust conservation strategy. For more information on this initiative, please contact the National Parks Trust of the Virgin Islands at 284-494-3904 or BVI INPT at bviinpt.org.
Well, viewers, moving on, the Ministry of Transportation, Works and Utilities will be holding an emergency meeting for all affiliated persons of the transportation for hire sector as the territory prepares for the return of cruise vessels. But this was announced by the ministry via a government commission bulletin on Monday, August 30th, which said the meeting is to discuss the return of cruise ships to the territory after the reopening of its seaports. What the bulletin stated, and I quote, "All public transport operators and stakeholders of the transportation for hire industry are invited to an emergency meeting on Tuesday, August 31st at 7 p.m. at the Elaine L. Parsons Auditorium at the H. Laverty Stout Community College in Parakeet Bay," end quote. Well, it added, Premier Andrew Foy, Minister of Finance, Minister for Transportation, Works and Utilities, the Honorable Kai Reimer, and officials from the Taxi and Livery Commission, the BVI Ports Authority, the BVI Tourist Board, and the BVI Health Services Authority will be in attendance. Well, 284 News also reached out to the minister responsible, Minister Reimer, who said the meeting is critical to gather the views of stakeholders on the subject to make informed decisions going forward. But Reimer also made it clear that all taxi operators, regardless of their base locations, are invited to attend the meeting.
Now, viewers, still ahead, some 36,000 plus arrivals have been received into the territory of the British Virgin Islands since December of 2020, with over 77% tourists. And we look over at the U.S. Virgin Islands. Governor Albert Byran walks back September 9th implementation of mandatory COVID-19 tests for government employees. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
ultra-fast download, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT fiber network. CCT Fire, bring it home and upgrade today.
Well, viewers, welcome back. Well, the British Virgin Islands has welcomed more than 36,000 persons into the territory since the reopening of its borders in December 2020, with over 77% being tourists. But this is according to the Premier Andrew Foy, who is also the minister responsible for tourism, who gave the update during a media conference on Friday, August 27th. Well, he said the statistics derived from the BVI Gateway portal, which showed that between December 1, 2020 and August 26, 2021, more than 36,200 persons had arrived and entered the BVI through the territory's air and seaports. Take a listen.
This includes approximately 28,000 non-residents coming to our shores for vacation. These tourist arrivals have been bringing business to our hotels, guest houses, and villas, providing work for our charter companies, taxi drivers, and tour operators, patronizing our restaurants, bars, and food vendors, contributing to economic activity across our various sectors, and generating revenue for the territory. However, we still have a lot to do. Even during the period of COVID-19 spike, which started at the end of June, the numbers of arrivals have been encouraging. In July 2021, we welcomed over 6,800 visitors, and so far, for August, we received over 2,000 tourists.
Our viewers, Premier Andrew Foy attributed the low numbers registered in August to the tourism industry's traditional slow season, which often results in many charter companies and accommodation properties closing their bookings to perform preparations for the new tourist season, which begins in October. Well, the tourism minister also thanked the staff at the airport and the seaport for their continued dedication through the territory's COVID-19 spike, which saw many of their staff being directly affected.
Several employees tested positive and had to be quarantined. Co-workers who were exposed to them also had to be quarantined as a precaution. But despite this, our air and seaport teams pulled together and ensured that our ports remained open. In so doing, our air and seaport teams kept the economy moving. We must commend them for their efforts for finding the right balance to achieve this.
In the meantime, Premier Foy said he anticipates a fruitful 2021 to 2022 tourist season once the COVID situation in the territory remains under control.
With our COVID-19 numbers back down and more of our residents vaccinated, we are optimistic that the upcoming tourist season can be a healthy one, given the appetite in the global tourism market and the increase in travel, which is happening in part due to the vaccination programs in all countries. This is another reason for us to get more of our residents to become vaccinated.
Viewers, the last COVID-19 update stated that there were 25 total active positive cases in the BVI and 3 hospitalizations. The vaccination stats reported a total of 17,100 persons who were both fully and partially vaccinated. Of that sum, 12,907 persons were fully vaccinated. Around this is some quite good news in a sense in terms of 30,000 persons, traveling into the territory since December 2020, but at the same time, obviously, in comparison to the pre-COVID numbers, where we would have had in excess of over 500,000 persons in and out of the territory, we still have a long way to go, basically.
I am glad you said that, because we really do still have a long ways to go as we continue to report and reopen really our territory. We're panning across to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Viewers, employees of the central government in the USVI may not face mandatory COVID-19 tests beginning September 9th, as was previously stated by Governor of the USVI, Albert Byran. A reversal in a position that comes as active infections in the USVI, which recently peaked at just over 400 cases as a result of the highly infectious Delta variant, have been receding. Now, speaking to local media houses, particularly the VI Consortium on Sunday, Mr. Byran said he was misquoted by the media about the September 9th mandatory weekly COVID-19 test or proof of vaccination for government employees. He said, and I quote, "I said that I wanted to do that, but I never said that I was going to do that. The paper misquoted me and said I said I was going to implement it in September. I never said that. I said we were thinking about doing it for September, the day after Labor Day. Now, in fact, what Mr. Byran did say is that proof of vaccination or mandatory tests would be required beginning September 9th. However, if 15,000 first dose vaccinations were administered before then there would be no need for the weekly test or proof of vaccination, as stated in the recent article on August 9th, that is. He said, we're shooting for September 9th, but we're hoping we don't have to do that. The governor added, because if we get 15,000 first shots or close to it coming up to September 8th, the day after Labor Day, we won't have to do that. We will be good. Now, moments earlier, during the same August 9th press briefing, Mr. Byran, speaking relatively to the September 9th mandatory testing requirement, stated, and I quote, "If you don't want to get a cotton swab up your nose every single week, then so be it. That's what we mean by a little bit more difficult." On August 9th, some 47,192 individuals had taken at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Last week, on Monday, August 24th, that number climbed to some 49,919, equating to a 2,727 new first dose vaccinations and 12,273 first dose vaccinations short of Mr. Byran's 5,000 first dose by September 9th. Now, Mr. Byran not only walked back the mandatory testing requirement, his tone relative to vaccination has also changed. He said, and I quote, "The better approach is to let's work together to get this done. We got to stop dividing us and work together." And if you notice, I've changed my approach in the last couple of weeks and say, let's give people every single reason in the world to get vaccinated, the governor added. Now, speaking to incentives the administration has been offering instead of the rhetoric that would serve to divide, he said, and I quote, "We have so much to do. It's not really worth creating the amount of emotion to get everybody to do it." Now, Mr. Byran also spoke to the options available to some government employees who at the moment have chosen to remain unvaccinated. He said, and I quote, "We have a situation where if you are not vaccinated, you could stay home and work." He said, adding, "In some situations, you can't do that. We're looking at a more focused approach, like who needs to be vaccinated." Now, the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands viewers spoke of nurses resigning from the territory's hospital because of the mandatory vaccination policy imposed by the Territorial Hospital Board, and he offered employment elsewhere in the government. He said, "It got other places you could work. You have human services, education." He said being vaccinated is a personal decision, but people can't go to the hospital and get sick. That's not cool. Now, as of Saturday, there were some 209 active COVID-19 cases territory-wide in the USVI, 122 on St. Thomas, 70 on St. Croix, and 17 on St. John, according to the VI Department of Health. Kamal, we continue to monitor, of course, the situation over in the USVI, where the plea and call for persons to get vaccinated and whether vaccine should be mandatory, whether persons should have to exit employment because of lack of vaccination continues to be a conversation across the territory of the U.S. Virgin Islands, by extension the region as well. We continue to see where there's a divide, but governments continue to do what I think essentially they think is best in the interest of residents to mitigate and really lessen the curve of COVID-19.
Indeed, we also do see similar situations occurring in the BVI.
Of course.
But obviously, as of recent, as Friday during the press conference, Premier Foy would have reiterated that he don't intend, or his government don't intend, to make vaccinations mandatory in the BVI. However, he did say that businesses do have the right to implement their own rules in the interest of their business. So that would have resulted in some of the recent situations we have seen in the BVI, where a number of businesses have been demanding their employees to vaccinate,
letting them go,
or face termination. So it is a growing situation. It continues to develop each week, but we will stay tuned and we will keep you, the viewers, updated on these relative incidences. Well, viewers, up next, 2-year tax exemption on all renewable energy products as government push a BVI Going Green initiative, and Bahamians will go to the polls on September 16. We heard these stories after a word from our sponsors.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Brilliant Hands and Minds Tutoring Services. One-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Welcome back, viewers. Well, the government has implemented a 2-year tax exemption on a number of renewable energy products as they continue to push their BVI Going Green initiative, which aims to save the territory millions of dollars in the coming years. Well, Premier Andrew Foy made the announcement during a recent press conference where he listed a number of renewable energy products that will benefit from the recent amendments made to the Customs Management and Duties Act. Well, he listed 6 categories of renewable energy products that will benefit from the 2-year exemption. Well, the categories include renewable energy in solar, renewable energy in wind, renewable energy in other systems, energy storage, energy efficiency equipment, and transportation. Well, the tax exemption will end in 2023, at which duties ranging from 2% to 10% will be charged on the respective renewable energy products. We'll take a listen as the Premier detailed the respective categories.
After the 2 years, the rate of import duty for all that I will state below will take effect within the 2-year window when that ends. There are 1, renewable energy in terms of solar. The solar water heater will be 5% after the 2 years. Solar powered electric systems will then be 10%. Solar photovoltaic modules, 10%. Solar powered electric systems inverter, 10%. Solar electric racking systems, 10%. Solar powered electric systems accessories, 10%. Solar powered lighting systems, 7%. All of those are under renewable energy solar. But for now, they will be 0 rated, meaning no duty. But after 2 years, that will be the percentage. But there are also some other categories. Renewable energy in terms of wind. We have wind-powered electric systems. After 2 years, will then be 7%. Wind-powered electric systems accessories. After the 2 years, will be 7%. We also have renewable energy with other systems. Waste-to-energy powered electric systems after 2 years will be 5%. Hydro-powered electric systems after 2 years will be 7%. Geothermal powered electric systems after 2 years will be 10%. Tidal wave energy powered electric systems after 2 years will be 7%. Biomass energy powered electric systems after 2 years will be 10%. And in the other category, we have energy storage. And the design for solar electrical system batteries after 2 years will be 7%. Battery energy storage systems after 2 years will be 10%. Electrical static converters after 2 years, being duty-free, will be 5%. And electrical accumulators after 2 years of duty-free will be 7%. In another category, we have energy efficiency equipment, and the LED light fixtures and LED light bulbs after 2 years of duty-free will be 10%. Inverter air condition units and other energy efficient cooling devices after 2 years will be 7%. Energy management systems and energy monitoring equipment after 2 years of duty-free will be 10%. Energy efficient appliances will be 7% and 10%, and solar cookers, solar ovens, 7%. Last category would have is transportation. Electric vehicles after 2 years of duty-free will be 10%. Electric small boat vessels after the 2 years of duty-free will be 2%. And electric scooters and cycles, bicycles, after 2 years of duty-free will be 5%. Electric vehicle chargers, station equipment, after 2 years duty-free will be 5%. Parts solely designed for electric vehicles, engine, electric systems, after 2 years will be 7%.
Well, viewers, the Premier therefore encouraged residents to capitalize on the 2-year initiative, which could save them hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
I urge all our citizens to take advantage of the opportunity to save money by making full use of the 2-year duty-free window with this Go Green initiative. Many persons may be doing renovations and repairs to their properties following the destruction caused by Hurricanes Irma and Maria. This is an opportunity to rebuild green and clean, and with modern technology, at significant savings to your pocket. Transitioning to green, renewable energy is important for our environment. The global community has set a target of achieving net zero carbon by 2035, and we in the Virgin Islands will not be exempted from this goal.
Our Premier Foy said the 2035 target is essential for curbing the rise in climate change, which has resulted in the rising sea levels, an increase in catastrophic climate events such as hurricanes and floods, injury to sensitive species such as the coral reefs, and marine life, and more.
All right, we pan across viewers to Bahamas. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, that is, announced that Bahamians will go to the polls on September 16th. That's just about 8 months before a general election is constitutionally due. Minnis announced that this came after Commissioner of Police Raw Poole, in his proclamation from Sir Cornelius dissolving Parliament. In a statement, they said earlier today, Parliament was dissolved. It is a time for you, the people, to choose who you will elect to form the next government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I have advised the Governor General to issue the rights of election, which will be held on September 16th, 2021. Minnis said the next government will have key decisions to make in enacting post-pandemic public health legislation, continued economic growth, and rebuilding and renewing a post-COVID-19 Bahamas. He said, and I quote, "It is time for the people to choose who they want to lead them as we move towards vaccinating all Bahamians." He added, with the election date now set, Minnis urged Bahamians to ensure that the country's long and proud tradition of peaceful elections continues, saying, "We must discuss issues rigorously and peacefully, contrasting our various visions for the country. In our democratic tradition, the people rule. Their collective wisdom will decide our way forward. Their collective wisdom will decide our shared future." He has also called on all political parties competing in the next general election to follow the health and safety protocols. Meanwhile, Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis said in a statement that the coming election will likely be the most consequential election since independence. He said, "This election is about so much more than a choice between the PLP and the FNM. This election is about our country's survival. The current term does not constitutionally expire until May 2022, 5 years after Minnis' Free National Movement defeated the Progressive Liberal Party in the last election, winning 35 of the 39 seats within Parliament. Kamal, as we continue to traverse through the global pandemic, elections do not stop. We have seen this throughout the territory and, of course, the region, particularly where leaders have called elections and the people continue to have a voice and a chance to vote or re-elect or vote out, as we would say, elected government. So I think we want to wish our friends and family over in the Bahamas a safe election process as they continue to grapple, of course, with the pandemic.
Indeed, and as we would have noticed, and we did carry some stories in the past weeks where Bahamians are presently in a dire situation
Yes.
when it comes to COVID, and obviously having to battle that and an election is a very tough and difficult task.
I agree.
Well, viewers, that's it. That's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook and at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a happy Tuesday. Bye-bye.